Good morning. Sorry, a little bit late again. This time, well, it's Sunday morning here in Australia, and I worked till really late last night to try and make sure that, as I promised, that I would get that blog post in a state where I could give She the link. It's not perfect, but I'm practicing what I preach. Doesn't need to be perfect, but it does need to be up, and it needs to be done. Now I can go back in and I can edit it and do things now live, but at least it's up. Before I share it with everyone else, apart from you, my fantastic little group here, all my friends, before I actually share it with anyone else, I will actually go in and check. I did do a test to see if I could get the download of the workbook, and I didn't get it in my email. So I do need to just run through that because that's a kind of an important part of the whole process. One of the reasons we're doing this, not just to build the foundation, that's very important too, but we're also, we're building in, you want people to do stuff. Like, when they actually get there, if you've done a great job in sharing it and in building your foundation and it turns up in Google and all that kind of stuff, and people land on your blog post, they read your blog post, they engage with you, they want to know more about you, they kind of get all, excited. This is great, I found this fantastic fountain of information and, I really wanted to, learn more from this person. You've got to give them some way to do that. So that's a call to action. In my case, in this blog post, I created a workbook very quickly. It's very simple. It's mostly full of blank pages for people to write things in. And again, it's not perfect. And what I might do is take it actually and find someone in somewhere like Fiverr and get them to edit it and make it look a bit prettier. And some of the wording. And so anyway, again, that could be better. But right now, for someone coming into my website looking for a way to work out what it is to do their business on, or some ways to clarify what it is that their passions are and how it can mix with the things they're actually quite good at. And I'm not just talking about hard skills, this is what the blog post is about, but also soft skills, like being nice to people and being really good at communicating and networking and things like that. They're more like soft skills, but maybe if you're a doctor or something, you're really good at different parts of medicine, or maybe if you're a musician, you're very technical and great at music. So they're more hard skills, but soft and hard skills are both very relevant for what I was talking about in that blog post. But of course, I diverge again, and it's not what we need to talk about. How are you going? We are now, even if you're in America, you should be into Saturday now, so you should have finished your blog post, or you should have some idea. If you started late and you decided that instead of using, creating a short blog post, or even, rushing through and writing a really fast 1,500 words, but you decided to use a blog post that exists on your site, which is okay, that's a valid thing to do. Ultimately it's better to be creating new content all the time. But if that's what you did, then now you should be starting to think about what kind of repurposed content or marketing assets that you're going to create. I would like to see in the group, those of you who have finished your blog post, or you have an existing one that you want to use in this process in week 2, if you could paste it into the group, that would be smashing. Because then we can all go and, we can give you some feedback. Number 1, we can read it if you would like to have some feedback on how it reads. And number 2, when you start putting up your images and sharing us your images and your little creative things, we'll be able to, we know what you're referring to. So if the picture is a picture of a pot on a stove, it may not have much relevance to us unless we have been able to look at your blog post. Anyway, it's part of the group process. We're all here to be accountable, to support each other and all of that kind of stuff. And if you have to put something into the group, then you feel a little bit more, first you feel a bit vulnerable perhaps, but then you feel more supported. And that's why you're part of a group, because we all want to support each other. And I think I've said this a few times, but a rising tide lifts all. So we're a very kind group. We won't be attacking you or anything, and any assistance that you get will only be to help you make things better. We won't just be sitting around picking on something we think you haven't done very well. We haven't had any of that kind of stuff here for the last 3 or 4 months. So, in fact, the group itself has been around for more than a year. So, please do share. It does make it more valuable for everyone else as well, not just for you, and the feedback that you get and the support that you'll get too. So You know, I stayed up until very late last night in order to be able to share my link to my blog post, even though the post itself, as I said, still needs editing, and you know, I don't actually think my download's working right now, so I need to fix that, which I'll do this morning. But yesterday, if you watched yesterday's video, during Saturday, I spent most of my day playing with my mum's website, so it's not ready to be seen by you just yet. It was a lot of other things. We were playing in MailChimp and things like that. Now, Frankie asked me on the underneath my link to her blog post if what the how I was doing the download. So at the moment, that's just I'm using MailChimp as my email. It sort of organizes all my email. If you want more information on MailChimp, then I'm pretty sure that I have to have a look in the resource center, but I know I did a whole video on how to use MailChimp, just very basic how to use MailChimp. Actually, it might even have been a couple of parts because it got more complex the more videos that I did. Not complex, but just little things that you had to do and think about. So anyway, that's how. So somebody puts their name on a form on my website. That name ends up, an email address ends up in MailChimp, which I can then mail at any time. That's where you sit at the moment as part of the challenge. You should have joined the mailing list for that, and then you get reminders when I'm going live and other things like that are happening in the challenge. So that's how that happens. Obviously, my call to action is the workbook. So on my website, I uploaded the PDF for the workbook. Again, I could have done things like leave it in my Dropbox or some other cloud service you have, like Drive, and I could have used the share link from that and put that there. And there are other places that you can store things that people can download. As a rule, those email providers, like MailChimp, don't allow you to attach a document, because in the past, when you got email, and even now, you probably get them all the time, but your spam filter's probably filtering them out. But emails with attachments often contained viruses. It's one of the main ways viruses got spread around years ago, especially. And they still attempt to do it now, but most filters filter them out. So as a rule, if you're using a mail provider of some sort, then they won't actually give you the ability to attach something to an email, because the chances of it actually being delivered is not as high as if you didn't include it. So that's why that is. Long story short. So I uploaded my PDF to my website. The only reason that I did that is, and wherever I put it, is that I needed a unique link, so a URL that was just for that PDF. So if I'd used, say, my Dropbox share link, it would have given me a unique URL as well. So I just right-click on the, I don't know if you've used Dropbox, but you just right-click on the folder and on the file, and you just say, want the share link, and it just gives you a unique URL. But rather than leaving it in my, rather than having everybody access it via my Dropbox, I decided to put it on the website. So anyway, that's just what I did. So now I had a link. I've got a link that gives you straight to my PDF. In fact, I might put it in the group so that you can download it and give me some feedback, because as I said, even the workbook needs a little bit of work, but it's there to begin with. And you'll also notice, by the way, in the workbook, there is a call to action. So people provide me with their email address. The process that should happen is that a little pop-up comes up, and that was the second part to Frankie's question. And the pop-up is created, in this case, by an app called Fat Cat app, something like that. I have to go and have a look, but it's just an app that I have on my WordPress, which allows me to do the pop-up. So people click on that link, a little pop-up just pops up over the top of your blog, and you put in your name and your email address, and you hit, thanks or whatever, submit, go and get it, and then that goes away and does that, and then you can keep reading if you want to then in the blog post. So that's that process. However, in the actual workbook, and this is another thing I'd like you to think about as you travel down this path of self-employment, is at the bottom of my workbook, it says, now I really hope this workbook has helped you to become more clear about what it is you want to do in your business, or what kind of business you want to create, and where your passion, the mix between your passion, your skills, and something people will be prepared to pay for. If you haven't been able to work it out, then please, here's a link to my free 30-minute consultation whatever, it's a discovery call, but it's a 30-minute call with me, and let's bash it out together. So, you know, I've got a call to action on the blog post, which gives them a workbook where they can scribble down all of their notes. And then in the workbook at the bottom, there's a call to action to actually talk to me. Now, once people talk to me, my conversion rate for people who then work with me in one way or another is very high because I'm able to really help them. So, you know, that's what happens. You know, Frankie and I met ages ago because I asked her to do something for me in her job, a year and a half ago in Fiverr, to do some writing stuff for me. And within a very short period of time, she said, can I talk to you? And I went, yeah, sure. So we had a quick chat, and now we've been talking for a very long time because, you know, it's often when you make that connection where video's one step there, but it's not all the way. So the things that you can do with people when you're able to bounce ideas around and have these one-on-one conversations are great. And when you can do that for people, they tend to, reciprocity, the rules of reciprocity say that, you know, if I can really help people, then in return, in the future, they'll seek me out to help them more, and perhaps even pay for some of my services as well, if that's appropriate. So anyway, just to give you an idea, I have lots of call to actions now set up on that blog post, really. So get the workbook and then book a free appointment with me, and they're all easy. Like they don't have to jump through a million hoops. The hardest thing they have to do is put their name and email address in, and then they can click a link in that workbook, and it'll instantly pop up my calendar, and they can choose a time that suits them. So it's quite easy. So finding these things that are a simple way for people to connect with you it's sort of the secret, especially if your business is like mine, where it's more service orientated. All right, so that's enough about all of my stuff. What are you doing? I want to know what you're doing. Please come into the group and tell me. I would love to see a couple of quote images and a couple of memes. They're like the easiest ones to do, and they're quite a lot of fun. I'm not sure, you know how we've talked about this is Christmas time and how mad it is. Well, today I've got people coming around and I haven't cleaned the house for days. So I've got to go and do that. And I've got to cook a cake for it. And I still have a couple of things to do here on the computer before I do that. Luckily, they're not coming till later in the day. So I was going to say I might get around to creating a meme or a quote of my own, but I'm not sure that I'll do it today. Certainly we'll do it tomorrow, but I won't promise to do it today because it's, and I've got a little bit of client work I need to get done before I go and cook my cakes and clean my house. So, it's a crazy time. I'm sure it's very crazy for you too. And you just need to work out how to fit little things around it, the things that you can do, because any step that you make in the direction that you want to go will be helpful. You know, it'll take you further towards the path. What is it? The only one you should be comparing yourself to is you yesterday. So not comparing yourself to me or someone else in your industry who appears to be a shining light, who's doing fantastically. It's great to learn from them and it's great to admire what they do, but don't compare yourself to them, because only you can be you, and the only thing you need to compare is you today compared to you yesterday. So if you do one thing today that helps you push forward, whether it's in this challenge or some other part of your business, just one thing, then you're better today than you were yesterday. And that's important. And that's how you make progress. It's also how you, thank you, Bamadelli, I'm glad you like that. That is how you get to where you want to go ultimately. And you also work out if that direction that you're heading in is the one that you need to head in, because if you stay still, you'll never know. But if you start making those steps even slowly, it'll soon become clear to you that you need to step sideways or whatever instead of straight ahead, and you can make those changes as needed and pivot if you like. But right now, I'd love to just know that you're doing something today towards getting, as for me, obviously, I'd like to know that the blog challenge is, this content challenge is actually what you're doing today, doing something, even if it's just creating an image or even working out what quote you could use in order to put in an image, or just go find a couple of images you can use and put them in a folder that you can run and play with Canva, say early next week, to create some of these. That would be fantastic. All right, now, if you want any technical help on how to use Canva, there is training in the Mission Mojo Content Challenge resource area. And again, to log in, you just put Mojo is the password. I've opened up all of the second week trainings, so you'll find there's Canva training in there. Actually, I think there's some Canva training in the first week as well. So Canva is very simple to use. Once you start using it, you'll find it's really not difficult. And if you want any more tutorials, you can either ask me if there's something specific, but also if you search in Google for Canva tutorials, you'll find that there are a lot of videos, plus Canva themselves also do a lot of tutorials. So it's actually a very simple tool to use on the outside, but it has quite a lot of it's quite not complex, that's not the right word. So it's very simple but to use, but the more you use it, the more you realize it does. So it does a whole lot of things, and it's a very powerful tool. That's probably a better thing to say. So it's simple to use, especially to get started, and then you can sort of unlock all these other cool things that it'll do for you as well. So go and have a play. I want to see some images. It's Christmas time. Let's have fun with it. So I'm even trying to work out how I maybe can make some of my this is an evergreen post that I've done, and I need to go now and make some images and things like that to go with it. I've already got a video because it's already in there, but how I can make it a bit Christmassy. So can I go and put a little Christmas tree in the corner, or a wreath, or do something, do some tinsel-y things around it and actually make it relevant rather than just me trying to throw Christmas tinsel over stuff. So anyway, I'll keep my thinking hat on about that. And if you have any questions, let me know. Ask them in the group. Turn up to the live session and ask me here. I'm more than happy to answer any questions. You'll probably get more than the answer that you asked for. The only thing I perhaps don't do is give you a very short answer. If I can, I'll often elaborate so that you understand more of why I might have said what I've said. And I do hope that helps, and it appeals to your learning style. All right, I'm going to go and get on with my Christmas things and my little bit of work I have to do first so that I can tidy my house and get ready for guests. Now, any questions? So anyone who's on at the moment, if you have any questions, do let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to go and move this Sunday further down the road and, hopefully have a lovely day. Anyway, all right. Thank you so much for being here. It's great to see you. Please put something in the group about what you're doing, because even if it's just a report that I've been struggling because Christmas crazy's caught up to me, or I've been, got a lot of work on, other work for clients or for people, or the thing that makes you the money, and it's just, the time has squished down to almost nothing for you, this challenge, because that's quite common too. But we'd love to hear it. So if you put it in to the group, guess what? We can all commiserate together and you'll feel a bit better because you're not the only one. And we always like it. Everyone else is also struggling a little bit. So feel free to put it in the group. We would love to chat about it and make you feel a bit better about whatever it is that's going on too. When you create some images, show them to me. I love to see them. Love, love, love to. And we'll be able to give you some feedback and all that kind of stuff too. And also give you lots of positive vibes about it. Otherwise, go have fun. Yeah, it's that time of year. Smile. Look in the mirror. Have a smile, because you'll find someone smiling back at you. All right. Take care, and I'll see you tomorrow.